to sell a gun from one person to another without a. How do I do a background check on Kerry if I'm going to sell a gun to him? SmithRadio.com. You're listening to SmithRadio.com with Kerry and Brian Smith. If you want to be a part of the show, call in 772-49-SMITH. That's YTH. Find us on Facebook, Facebook.com/SmithRadio, or on Twitter @SmithRadio. And we're talking about gun control or the pro-gun push from Donald Trump and all these things on his website, everything he's espousing, national reciprocity, concealed carry right. It's a right, not a privilege. Opposes assault ban weapons. Opposes expansion of background checks. Supports extremely harsh penalties for crimes committed with guns. If you commit a crime with a gun under the Trump administration, huge penalties. And lastly, he says that all U.S. troops on all military bases must be armed.
Yeah, I mean...
How is that? Why is that a duh? Why does that sound like... I feel stupid saying that.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a military base.
I feel stupid having to say a United States military base, military members, but under Trump will be armed.
Well, and I can't speak for the other branches of service, but and Brian could talk about the Air Force.
During Vietnam, most of the POWs were Air Force members because, and also World War II, because on an Air Force base, who's got a gun?
Interesting.
It ain't Air Force guys.
There's not a whole lot of actual foot soldiers on an air base.
No, it's pilots in the planes, or like myself, the aircraft machinist on the ground,
right,
to help support that flying. We don't have and the Marines have the guns.
Well, on our air base,
they're not taking them. We are.
I was stationed on a Marine Corps air base because I was an aircraft mechanic myself. Well, it turns out that all of the weapons for the entire base were stored at the armory. And if we were invaded, we'd have to run to the armory and have them start to pass them out after signing 16 pages of paperwork.
We went to the armory for our 1 day of gun training with the M16.
Okay.
And we all got on the bus, and the bus drove us all the way to the other side, which seemed like the other side of town, and it down a dirt road.
Well, we could run.
Back road.
See, your base might be a lot bigger.
We never, and it was all a completely different secured section, a different area. If you were invaded, and I was running, and it was all chaos, I could not physically walk over there because of the Constantine wire.
Oh, really?
So
you had no access to weapons anyway.
No, like the dirt road to walk through that way, Constantine wire, and if there's nobody protected, I couldn't get in anyways. If nobody's standing post,
at least with us. Now the armory was like imagine a armored truck without wheels and just sitting on the ground. Right. That's pretty much what an armory is, except a lot bigger, of course. So you wouldn't get in. You would have to be given your weapons through the door or through the window by the people inside.
Right.
So I would have to run to the armory, say, "They're invading, man, give me an M16," and they'd have to hand it out to me. They have to hand me clips. They have to hand me rounds and all that stuff. So it's interesting. But I was on an air base too. But the point is, our training was such that it's very safe. We would have to be drunk and do something stupid, and because we're so well trained, we know like one of the most important things we learn is muzzle awareness. That is, which way is the end of the gun pointing? It should always be pointed in a safe direction, and we're so cognizant of that at all times. If we were all armed, I mean, I don't think anybody would bat an eye at it. When we go to the rifle range, everybody is armed.
You know, the greatest meme that I've seen are coming out of Israel, where the young female teachers for the young school children, I don't know if you've ever seen this before, but it's all over Facebook. She looks like she's probably about 25-ish, and she's got a dozen or so little children under the age of 6 with her, and they're walking in front of her, and she's leading them to an area down the street or whatever, and she has strapped on her shoulder a rifle. The teacher, Israeli teacher, strapped on her shoulder a rifle. If guns are needed to protect the President of the United States, why is not our most precious resource, children, being protected like that with guns? Okay. I know you all are on board. I know we're all on the same page with guns, but I wanted to put this out there. I wanted to let you folks know when people come at you about Trump and gun control, what they're saying, if they're not saying what I just said, they are lying to you. And they will. They'll lie to you over and over because that's what they had to do to destroy Bush. You lie over and over and over again. Try and destroy Reagan, you got to lie over and over and over again. Hitler said, a lie told enough times, people will eventually believe it. That's why I am where I am. I mean, that's just how the left rolls. If they used truth, they would never win.
Well, that's exactly how, saying it over and over again and eventually becomes the truth. That's how they destroyed George W. Bush.
Yes.
So
let's talk about some of the people that have come out this week. Dick Cheney's come out this week. He's come out of the closet saying that he's a Trump supporter.
Now, I don't mean to put you on the spot, but some of these people who have come out and saying they'll vote for Trump, there's like two different camps. There's the, gosh, I can't believe I got to do this, but it is what it is. I got to hold my nose.
So you're talking about Pete Ricketts from Nebraska.
Okay. Is that how it
huge never Trump supporter. Huge never Trump, complete pro-Cruz. Come out this week. All right. I'm going to support Trump.
It's kind of like Bill Kristol even said, never say never. So he's, and even Paul Ryan said, I can't support him. I'm not there yet.
Okay, hold on. Let's talk about that real quick.
The yet is the important word there.
I was listening earlier this week to one of the local talk show hosts, and they brought that up. Paul Ryan already knew that Trump was the presumptive nominee when he decided to go on that talk show. And he knew that the question was going to be posed to him. There's no doubt it just happened. This is the lightning button that all news people want to touch now because it is the hottest topic yet. Cruz drops out, Trump presumptive nominee,
right,
and Kasich dropped out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Paul Ryan goes on this talk show, and Paul Ryan says what he said, I'm not ready for Trump yet. I want to see.
Actually, he said not ready yet later. His initial thing was, I can't support him.
Right, and then he expanded on that and said that he wants to see Trump to more unite the party, blah, 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 and all his rhetoric. Okay, my problem with Paul Ryan, why'd you do that, bro?
Oh, there's a lot of people.
Why did you even talk?
Sean Hannity is livid.
Talk? Why did you even talk?
Yeah, Sean Hannity is angry with him. He calls what Paul Ryan did very damaging to everything, like the GOP, the possibility of us winning the presidency. There's just a whole bunch of stuff. Also, I don't remember who reported this, but now they're saying that the speaker's position at the GOP convention is at risk. Right. He may not even get a chance to speak at the convention now because it's going to be up to Trump to set all this up. I mean, this is really big. That everybody was assuming that this was going to come down to a contested convention. Everybody was. Because all Cruz had to do was prevent Trump from getting the 1237. And it was getting harder and harder for him to be able to pull that off, especially with losing Indiana. But he could have fought all the way to the bitter end. He could have waited until Trump actually got the number 1237. But he didn't, which leaves us all with the presumptive nomination situation. And now you got people like, I mean, Ryan's not the only one. Pretty much every actual official in the GOP who is presently saying, no, I can't support him. They were all like, we needed him we needed to prevent him to get to 1237 so that we could screw over the electorate, screw over the people of the United States, of the GOP voters, by putting somebody in that they didn't vote for, that they didn't want.
Well, here's the thing. We'd been reporting about it and talking about Cruz and some of the things that didn't make sense and that didn't add up.
There are things still.
Looking back, yeah, absolutely. He lost handily all his support from a lot of conservatives, and they were walking away from him because of his demeanor, because of the way he spoke, because it's kind of hard to look at him, because it's also he's Canadian, and that's a huge thing. Okay, there's something else. There are videos that started to go viral of Ted Cruz, and this is why he doesn't get it. This is why politicians don't get it. This is why Hillary will never get it. Ted Cruz walked up to Trump supporters
in Indiana,
yeah, holding signs, and he reached his hand out to shake their dude. Wrong place, wrong time, wrong people.
There's a reason why he did that, though.
He looked like an absolute buffoon.
He eventually it backfired big time, but here's why he did it. Do you remember when he went to Iowa and he was confronted by somebody who was angry at him? He was an Iowa farmer.
Well, we talked about this.
Oh, yeah. He was super angry. And if you watch that video, you can't help but just be like, wow, Cruz is amazing. Because this guy was an angry protester, and he was angry about something that wasn't only specific, but was actually true. He wasn't upset about something that wasn't true. Right. It was the corn subsidies, the ethanol subsidies, or whatever, and Cruz began to defend it from a conservative position. And by the time he was done talking to the guy, he was converted.
But however, Cruz doesn't understand. The guy he was talking to there was not necessarily the Trump the Trump trolling guys that I'm talking to you about right now. What he did is he walked up to that gentleman and he said, "Hey, buddy, I know how you feel. I felt that same way too. But let me tell you something. Here's what I found." It's the feel, felt, and found. He's a master salesman. He took that guy, he twisted it all around. The guy was wrapped up in words and gobbledygook. And by the end of it all, he got one guy to say, maybe I'll
It was amazing, though. It was very well done.
So that video, then you send that video viral and you can affect other people.
Yeah.
Okay. No. You went to a trumpeter with a sign. And as you walked up to him, you went to shake his hand. He denied you.
So you're saying it was a tactical error.
Yes!
Because
it was the wrong person. He should have never walked up to that guy.
The big difference is the guy in Iowa wasn't necessarily supporting anybody that you could tell. He was just really angry at Cruz.
Correct.
The guy in Indiana was not only mad at Cruz for a myriad of reasons, but he had his guy. His guy is Trump.
Right.
That was a huge
tactical error. And he had a crew with him. They had a Trump crew.
Yeah, that's a huge tactical error.
And they were younger. I mean, they were younger in the sense. Yeah, in the sense that like around their 30s.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that.
And the guy.
So the guy that said, "Lying Ted, there's lying Ted again." That was a younger guy?
Yeah, how do you stop? How do you undo that? How do you approach?
How do you unring that bell?
Yes. So real quick, on Donald Trump's website, there's a press release, Donald J. Trump's statement on Paul Ryan. And it goes like this, quote, "I am not ready to support Speaker Ryan's agenda. Perhaps in the future we can work together to come to an agreement about what is best for the American people. They have been treated so badly for so long that it is about time for politicians to put them first. Donald J. Trump." This is why people like this cat. This is why people are following Trump, because they're putting Ryan back in that weasel hole he belongs in. By the way, folks, last 6 months, it's been 6 months since Paul Ryan gave Obama that open-ended trillion-dollar budget. Yeah, in 6 months, we're 1 trillion more